Welcome to Never Show the Monster. I'm Kelly Attaway.
I'm Chelsea Hollander.
And today is another Shootin the Shit episode. We are going to be talking about Smile, which just came out, probably still in theaters. I don't know. Seems to be doing well. It's like crushing the box office, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I saw that. So go see it. Go check it out. We are going to spoil it. I know that this is a new movie, so that's a bummer, but we can do a
first 10-minute review for anybody who wants to know our opinions.
Oh, sure.
And doesn't want to be spoiled. So then you can at least come back to the podcast for the first couple minutes to know how we feel about it and if you should watch it.
That's great. Before we get into that, I do have two questions for you.
Yeah.
One, do you ever think about the fact that our podcast is called Never Show the Monster, and we talk about the monster all the time in movies? Like, we really loved The Monster in Barbarian.
But who was the real monster?
I mean, that's a great question. That's a great question. We're
also going to talk about, so I had and I'm glad you brought this up, and spoiler for later in the series, whenever I watched Hellraiser, I had that in mind the entire time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but sometimes it's okay.
Yeah.
So not never, maybe just like a lot of them books, a lot of them articles say never use always and never statements.
I mean, that's true. If there are any, this was actually like
mostly
a tip that I used.
Don't show the monster.
Yeah, mostly like think really hard before you show the monster.tumblr.com. Only show the monster when you really mean it. Yeah.
Only show the monster when it doesn't ruin it, which it does.
So it does a lot.
We've been doing a good job of watching really good movies, and I feel like whenever people show the monster that's bad, even if the movie could be good, it'll ruin the movie.
Yeah. Another spoiler for this series is Pray for the Devil.
Oh my God. Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Smile does a good job. Smile does a good job.
Smile does do a good job.
Smile's monsters are good.
So if we're going with should you watch the movie, I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say yes.
It's a movie to watch. Go see it. It's one that I'm going to remember. There are definitely movies that we have watched over this last times that are not going to stay in my head. And this one probably is going to stick with me for quite some time, if not forever.
I feel similarly. I've watched it twice now, and I don't think that I've come any closer to knowing how I feel about it. So maybe we can get there together. So this is one of those movies, and I know I've complained about it on the podcast before. There is like a class of horror movie that the thesis of it seems to be, if you have mental illness, you should probably go ahead and kill yourself so that it's not a problem for everybody else around you. And does this movie do that?
I don't think it. So I want to say no. And if you guys don't want spoilers, this is where you should exit the podcast.
Yeah, we agree. Watch it. My one caveat is that, so I have been like pretty depressed lately. And one of my symptoms of depression personally is suicidal ideation. Nobody worry, I'm fine. But when, after I watched this movie, or after you watched it, you were like, fuck, how did you deal with that? So I guess
was
that's
worried
like a trigger.
I was almost like, have you watched it yet? Maybe no, watch. Maybe don't.
Yeah. No, stuff like that doesn't, I don't know. Like, I deal with it enough in real life that the movies don't. Like, I get mad about the movies that are like, you're a burden, but I don't internalize that. I'm not like, oh man, this movie is right. I am a burden. I'm like, fuck this movie. Fuck off. Like, how did you make this? But if you are worried that you might internalize it, then I don't know. I don't know yet if that is a point that the movie made. You think no, and I don't know. So I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right. I don't know. I don't know if I can let's see if I can articulate how I felt about it. I felt like it was kind of, I don't know. I tend to suffer from like situational depression, but not like, but I don't think that I have suicidal ideation, but I've had very bad intrusive thoughts before. And I feel like this is very much like like the monster is intrusive thoughts in the form of suicidal ideation. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's that thing that you feel like when other people are around, sometimes it goes away, but when you're alone, it's attacking you and stuff like that. So like, I was like, I felt like it was something that I could relate to. It didn't cause me, the end made me very sad, but
the end made me super sad.
The end was so fucking hard. And that was the part that makes the movie very...
I will say about the end, for anybody who's still lingering, who hasn't seen the movie yet.
You should have left.
I guess this is a spoiler for the end, but the end is not somebody like consciously killing themselves in like the traditional way. It's definitely like monster is the bad guy and very powerful.
But is that
end?
Okay.
Okay, yes.
When you say that, I feel like this is the thesis.
Maybe this is why I'm so conflicted, because the monster in this movie is like an actual monster, not a metaphor.
Yeah, and I think that is also...
But also a metaphor? Oh, God, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that that's what it is that... Because it's not... It is that there is something else, and it is not... just you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And it is something outside of you, or something that is doing this to you. It's not just something someone does to themselves. And I think that is what this really... It's not tastefully. It's not like it's really... The deaths in this are very gruesome and very gory and very unsettling. But they're not many of them are done on screen. But
no, but the ones that are like...
Oh, yeah.
They're upsetting.
Nightmare. So, and like, I went into this movie whenever we first, was first advertised. I was like, oh yeah, it's just like Truth or Dare.
Yeah, it looked
and immediately
so
I was like, this
dumb.
is Truth or Dare. Whenever Truth or Dare happened, you get this weird smile on your face and then you go do something. And then so I went into it kind of expecting it to be like Truth or Dare, where it was a little bit campy. Nope, it was not. It was very...
It's like an authentic horror movie. It's like, hi, I'm a horror movie, and today we're doing horror. We're not doing jokes. We're not doing camp. This is a scary movie. Yeah,
and it is trying to reach at things that are actually scary to people right now, I think. I think that is... I think mental health is the biggest of all the things that is terrifying right now for people. No. I said that and immediately was like, I feel like I'm kind of privileged to say that. I know that there's a lot of wars and stuff happening, and I don't want to like belittle those things. But overarching, and the largest amount of the population, I think, could probably identify somewhat with this movie at some point.
Yeah, like it's pervasive. It's ubiquitous to be worried about this. And that's like, I don't know. It doesn't benefit anybody to like try to rank horrors, you know, like oh.
But we're going to do it right now.
Number 1,
Dead and Breakfast.
Number 2.
Oh no, actual horrors. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's just give like an overall description of this movie.
Yeah, we should probably do.
So broadly, it's about like, okay, hold on. Let me do like literal what the movie is before I get into like the metaphysical. So it follows our main character, whose name I don't know, quite frankly. Super skinny doctor, psychiatrist. Chelsea's looking it up. I can tell by the way the light changed on her screen.
A name?
Her name is
Rose.
Lacey Smile.
Yeah,
that's
she calls
right,
her
Rose.
like Rosie at some point. Does her sister
and her sister's
Rosie?
name is Holly. Now that we're saying it, I remember plant names. Yeah, so she's our main character. She works in an emergency psych ward. So you can imagine that's already like right off the top. You're like, uh-oh, that's going to be intense. And her patient comes in, young gal, she's a PhD candidate, and she is freaking out, saying that there is something, an evil entity following her, and it is smiling at her, and it takes people's faces, like it presents itself to her as different people. Sometimes her grandfather who died in front of her when she was a child, for example. And when she sees it smiling, she is the most scared she's ever been in her life. And she panics. All of a sudden, she panics. She's screaming. She sees something behind Rose, and she reacts like viscerally. So Rose turns her back to call for help. And when she turns back around, this gal has knocked over a vase, and she kills herself with a shard of glass. And it's like, I thought she was going to do the Ichi the Killer smile. The joke. Yeah. What is it called?
Chelsea smile.
How did I forget that?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hurt.
It's your name right there. Yeah, I thought that's what she was going to do. But because I still thought it was fun. I thought we were still doing a fun movie. At this point, I was like, haha, we're doing fun. And then
you're like, I don't know. I mean, even after this, you're still like, maybe.
Like, maybe this was like a weird tone. No, we're not doing fun. Yeah, just slit your throat. And that is one of my intrusive thoughts.
No.
So, yeah, so early on I was like, okay, let's do it. And then this is where the movie becomes a little bit like The Ring.
Yes, or I guess It Follows. Somebody compared it to It Follows as well.
It Follows is closer, I think. Or
kind of.
I don't know. It's just a combination of the two. So Rose starts seeing the gal who just died in front of her, like outside her window, smiling, just like she described. It's very creepy. And then she starts learning more, and we discover that there's been like a chain of incidents like this. Like the gal who just killed herself in front of Rose witnessed her professor killing himself a few days before, really brutally. And he had witnessed somebody before him who killed themselves really brutally, and so on and so on and so on, for like 20 or something.
Yeah.
And it's very much like a 7 days. Like she enlists the help of her ex-boyfriend, who is a cop who has a wretched goatee, and he's able to like pull all these files.
She has a fiance that's not her boyfriend, and then that doesn't go well. That's A-Train.
Oh, did I say present tense boyfriend? I meant ex-boyfriend.
Okay, you may have said ex-boyfriend. And
she also has this fiance, and a therapist of her own, and Harold and/or Kumar is. I guess it's Kumar.
Wait, what? Yeah, Kumar.
I've never watched that movie. It only just occurred to me that Kumar was probably the Indian name and not Harold. So we're deducing.
Yeah. Good. Definitely good. If you guys want to see a good movie with TV show with Harold, The Exorcist, the TV show that I keep trying to get Kelly to watch. Yeah,
he was also in
Searching
Sleepy Hollow.
The TV
Sleepy
show?
Hollow. Yeah, the TV show Sleepy Hollow.
You know what? He's great.
He's great. I love him. And also Kumar, he was in House, I think. I don't know. I just think he's cute. I think he's very handsome.
Love them both. 10 out of 10.
Both. Glad to support them forever. Out there doing stuff.
It sucks because that's what we're always going to call them.
I know.
John Cho and Cal Penn. Those are their real names. They have real names.
You know what? Now that you say Cal Penn, I remember that because I don't know, because I guess because I'm stupid and I get that confused with Caltech. Here's why: because there's also an Ivy League called Penn, and so
yeah,
my brain just can't.
Oh, he's also in The Grudge.
Wait,
the remake, the new one.
Oh
no, John Cho.
Oh, John Cho. Mm-hmm. You know what? John Cho is really handsome too. Ugh.
Oh, so much.
Okay.
He's also he plays Spike Spiegel in the new Cowboy Bebop live action. I only watched one episode. Did you not know?
No.
Your face.
I'm like, oh no. I heard that was bad. It got canceled, right?
I mean, I only watched one, but I don't have anything bad to. I don't know.
How did I not know that was John Cho?
I don't know. That's on you, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, it is. Okay. Well,
Sorry. Now I'm trying to
list.
look at. Oh yeah, and Cal Penn was in the show Sunnyside. That's how I learned who Moses Storm was. You know, the one from Unfriended, the one that we love so much.
I did try to watch his special, but HBO Max wouldn't play sound. So
that's bullshit.
Yeah, I was
you guys
frustrated.
go watch Moses Storm special. It's trash white.
It's, if HBO Max will play sound for you. So, yeah, Cal Penn is Rose's boss. He's like the head of like the department, the hospital.
Psychiatry ward.
Yeah.
I don't know. He wears a white coat, so he's doing stuff.
He's a doctor, and he's also in like some sort of administrative position. Like he is like...
He's important.
He's important. And
he seems like a good boss, too.
He's so compassionate. So she's like already not sleeping because she's just super dedicated to the job. No, you know what it is? She's throwing herself into her work because she has undealt with trauma.
That's true.
And spoiler, that's what the movie's about.
Nope.
So yeah, at the start of the movie, after this gal kills herself in front of Rose, he like sends her home. He's like, you're taking a paid week of leave. I need you to get your head straight. Like, I'm worried you're not sleeping. You're working like 80 hours and you have been for months. So go home. And she does. She goes home and her fiance is... How did you feel about the fiance?
So the actor I knew from another show where he's a giant asshole. So I was already pre-feeling that he was not gonna be great.
Yeah.
And I am post-feeling like he was not great.
I think he wasn't great.
But I don't think he's not like the... I don't know. I don't know. And we talked about it last time. Like, this touches on one of my biggest fears is just being able to... Just telling someone something and them not believing you. And this movie is just like her constantly being like, this is happening to me. And everyone's like, you're crazy. And I'm like, no.
I know.
No.
God, that's so scary. That's so scary. And then like... I think that the big juxtaposition there is, so her ex-boyfriend with the goatee is a cop. And I don't remember his name.
He was in Huntington, Connecticut.
Oh. He was super familiar, but I just assumed, I was like, you know what?
He's also Beaver and Veronica Mars, so that's how I knew him.
I didn't watch that. I was like, he looks like he's playing D'Artagnan in a... Three Musketeers. Like that goatee, it looks like it's like...
The name of the actor is Kyle Gallner. But yeah, how it just like... And then he has the tiny little baby triangle.
Just the little guy.
Just like right under his lip.
It looks like he's doing like a period piece.
I don't know.
Like he doesn't look like a modern cop. Whatever. That's fine. That's his choice. He has beautiful eyelashes. So... And it looks, we'll learn more about their relationship, but he, like, the only reason he's back in her life now is because he was called to the emergency psych ward after the gal killed herself in front of Rose. So when she tells her fiance eventually that, like, this dark entity is following her, he, like, freaks out and... like storms out of the car and into the house, and she like he sleeps on the couch that night, and like he doesn't like, he's not receptive at all. He's not even like, I understand that you're going through something. He's like, this is crazy talk. Also, I Googled it, and you can inherit mental illness, which it looks like you did from your mom, who also killed herself. So it's like, he like comes in very accusatory, and that's not great. I understand that this is like, he's in a very difficult position. Like if the woman that you're engaged to comes to you and is like, there's a monster, that's hard to parse, but I hear your hesitation, and this is what I'm working up to.
Okay.
D'Artagnan, when she tells him, it like parallels the conversation with her fiance so well. Like she tells her fiance and he's totally silent. And then she says, I'm going to need you to say something. And then he says bullshit. And then we see the same conversation with D'Artagnan, and she's like, I'm going to need you to say something. And he's like, I will. Hold on. Okay. Putting aside that there might be a monster And then he like tries to meet her there.
Yeah.
Like, that's the way you do it.
He doesn't immediately call her crazy. He's like, okay, something's happening. We don't necessarily know what's going on. Let's try to figure it out.
Let's solve the problem and not like accuse you of being dramatic. Yeah. He like wants to listen to her and work with her. And that's like, especially watching it the second time, was something that I really noticed throughout the movie. Rose is always like literally making herself small. Like, I think that this is why we cast such a skinny actress. And the only reason I'm calling that out, like, I really didn't even notice it the first time I watched it, but the second time I went to watch it with my friend Justin, and I don't know, every 3 or 4 minutes he leaned into me and was like, she's just distractingly thin.
Okay, I think that I don't know if it was this, but I think Ryan leaned into me and was like, is there something weird with her arms? And I was like, what?
Oh.
He was like, I don't know, her arms are very small. That might have been a TikTok we watched later.
No, I don't know.
But and I'm looking at a picture of her and her arms are but
yeah,
she seems like little. She's very little.
She's very little, and I
can
think
say
that
this
was
as a
like,
very little person. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. My arms aren't small, but I am short in stature.
A casting choice, and then she also like
she's really good though. So I do want to give
so
credit.
good. She was incredible in this role. I hope to see more of her. But she like collapsed in on herself, like shoulders drawn in, like chest bone sort of back. And every so often, like in that conversation with her fiance, she'd be like, I need you to just listen to me. I'm sorry. Like she'd react big, like both in tone and her body, and not like yelling, like speaking normally. And like it was a fine and valid response. But then she immediately apologizes, and a couple times she even like covers her mouth and like immediately shrinks back down. And that's a trauma response, you know? That's what this whole movie is. She's like, Yeah. So when she was a kid, her mom was, we don't have a ton of details, clearly depression.
Yeah.
Maybe other things. Because she said that she was terrifying. She said that she was scary. So
yeah, her and her sister both had a terrible relationship with her, it sounds like.
And Rose finds her mom one day. It looks like a suicide attempt. It looks like she's taken a bunch of pills, but she like realizes what she's done. And she's like, Rose, call for help. And Rose doesn't. She's 10 at the time. And then her mom passes. And that's like guilt that she has carried with her whole life. She blames herself for her mom's death. And that's like, oh my God, that's so complicated, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy complicated.
Yeah. And that's kind of what you find out about each of the people as well. Like the girl whose grandfather. And I think even the professor before, I think you find out something about him.
His brother had died in an accident. Yeah.
Exactly. So you find out each of these people had something very traumatic happen to them already. And that is how it's passed on, is through trauma. And that's what everyone's parents are doing to them. So be nice to your children. I'm sorry.
And to each other.
Fine. And to each other too, I guess. If you have to. No, definitely be nice to each other.
But yeah, that's what it is. Is like, it's a very It Follows meets The Ring, where the bad guy is not an STD or a girl in a well. It's trauma.
Which is something like, and that, like, I don't know. I'm not watching a video and this is something that's like, oh yeah, this could very well just be, this could attack me and it's fine. This is going to happen.
I know.
Like,
I was like,
this is going to jump in there. It's fine.
Okay. So, the way that this passes from one person to another is the suicide. It's the suicide. You do it, like the monster like possesses you in the end and makes you kill yourself in front of somebody so that it can pass to them. And then it feeds on them, I guess.
In the movie, she talks to a guy who it skips over. And she goes and she visits with him and she tries to tell him, hey, I'm a psychiatrist. I have a patient who's going through this and saying this. And then he agrees to speak with her and he's trying to tell her it passed him because he had to kill someone, and you have to kill someone in front of someone else. You have to pass on that trauma. So it's not just about someone dying. It's the trauma of seeing somebody die has to be passed on.
Which is why all these suicides are so brutal. They die in front of you. It's not like you come home and find whoever dead in the bath. Like, it's like gruesome, brutal, ceramic shard to the throat, hedge clippers to the gut,
face.
Hammer to the face. Oh gosh, that jump scare.
That one was, that was pretty,
That was a lot.
Mm-hmm. Which is very similar to The Ring. Anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. So there were a lot of jump scares in this movie. So that's a big thing about this movie. So if you
many
like jump scares, this movie is pretty big on them.
Okay, I will say I don't like jump scares. Not because I'm scared of them, but I think that they're cheap. I think that this movie did a pretty good job of the jump scares. There's one that was really good. I thought, no, that one made me laugh. So Chelsea just mimed one of the jump scares, and that one was so funny to me. No, the one that I thought was really good is early in the movie when she's like starting to freak out and she's reviewing the evidence, like she's a fucking ghost hunter. She's reviewing the recorded conversation that she captured when she was talking to the gal who killed herself in front of her. I wish I knew her name so I didn't have to say the phrase killed herself in front of her 1,000 times. The PhD candidate. The conversation she recorded with the PhD candidate. She's like listening to it and there's like, she hears something. So she's like turning up the volume. And I thought that this was really realistic too, because she like leans in closer even though she's wearing headphones. I was like, we all do it. And then I guess it's her mom. Something like leans in front of her and says Rose, and it's like a rotting corpse. And I thought that jump scare was really good. And it reminded me of that really great jump scare in
Insidious?
Bly Manor.
Oh.
You know the one?
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, these are good jump scares. No, the one with her sister was super funny to me.
Yeah. that was something that I had a question about. In that moment, okay, so there's also a scene where the sister has a child, and the child is having a birthday party, and during that birthday party, Rose is trying to be normal. She's trying to keep her shit together, and she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna be normal. Everything's gonna be okay. I'm gonna be normal. And she goes, and her cat had been missing the other night.
Mustache.
And then she had gotten her sister's kid, her nephew, a nice little train set or something from the toy store. You see her go to the toy store and purchase the train set and then go to the house. And then the kid opens the present and it's her dead cat that's been like mangled. Yeah. And so she's having a full on breakdown in there. And like, Kelly and I both have a cat, and our cats are, I don't know. I love my cat so much. To see that happen, that was probably like, that made me the most. I was like, and
I fucking knew it was coming because when she comes home from the hospital that first time and the cat comes in, it's like a long scene for a horror movie. Like the cat meets her at the door, stretches,
like,
meows,
fuck.
Lays down on his tummy, and I was like, no.
So that was an incredibly hard scene, but the part
like
that
I
gets
didn't think about leaving when PhD candidate did the shard to the throat.
But the cat,
when I saw the cat, I was like, I don't know if I can handle it.
Yeah, that one was, but like that. So that is how it gets set up. But I thought, and I had hoped, and that sounds terrible because I didn't. It's not like I wanted the child to die, but I did have a very close attachment with the main character because that is the person that you follow. Yeah. And the child is a tertiary character.
Yeah.
But there is a scene whenever we were talking about the jump scare, and it's her sister, and her like head falls over and she's smiling, but it's not really her sister. It's the monster, but you don't see it. But her son is staring out the window and sees, and I was like, is he being traumatized right now? Is he being traumatized? He just sees her freaking out. And I was like, has he been traumatized? Has it passed on? What amount of trauma does another person need for it to pass on? And like at that moment, I thought the movie was going to take a turn where the trauma got passed on to the child. And I was actually shocked that it did not, because that was my expectation. That was my full-on expectation.
Gotcha. I definitely was like, we're building up to a sequel. Because all of the other people that we spoke to had seen some sort of trauma as a kid, and then it like revisits them as a grown-up. So
I just got sad about the ending again. God.
Yeah,
damn
sorry.
It. No, it's okay. It's fine.
No, it's a bummer. It's for sure a bummer.
This is not a happy ending. But I think it made it a better movie, maybe because it wasn't a happy ending. I don't know.
I think it definitely like makes its point better.
That's true.
I think that if it had been a happy ending,
I probably still would have liked it. I thought at the end it was going to be her conquering it, and then it was going to be fine.
Okay, so I think that that's like why I was upset at the end of the movie is that like she does work so hard to like dig out her trauma, but I guess it was done superficially, and so she doesn't win in the end. But definitely, like when I left the movie the first time, I was like, I mean, you can't get rid of the Babadook, I guess. You know, like
yeah. I'm trying to think of how to get to. So she met with a guy, and then she's no longer talking to her fiance. They're not. He does call her therapist.
Oh, that made me so mad.
Yeah.
Oh, that made me mad. Like, how dare you call my therapist to the house? What is this, an intervention? What are we doing here? How dare you call my... Is this hard to pay attention to me when I'm like waving
a skeleton arm in your hand? I was trying to like go back in my mind. I was like, when did she pick that up? When did she put that in her hand?
No, I've had it the whole time. I've been fiddling, but
okay.
No, I've got a little skeleton behind me, and I dropped him, and his arm fell off. And now and now I use it as a bit in meetings at work. I'll like think like and rub my chin with it. So yeah, I should put it down. So I'm just like mad about mental illness while I'm waving this skeleton.
That's fair. I think we all need a skeleton arm.
I don't know. Maybe you should call my therapist and have her meet me at the house. I don't know.
Take away your skeleton arm.
But that's so rude. Like,
yeah, it's not good.
That's so rude. Oh my God.
And she reacts appropriately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's
leaves.
pissed.
And then, there is a scene where she tries to kill someone, but then it just happens in her mind and it doesn't go well, and the monster scares her and it's not good. And it was really sad. And yeah, it was just a very sad scene. But then she didn't actually do it. So then she was like, you know what? That's the point. I'm going to starve it. I'm going to starve it. If I can't kill anyone, if no one can see me, then I'm going to starve it out.
Yep.
So she goes to her old home where the trauma has happened.
And this is like really heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Like it's like isolated, right? Which is what you do to yourself when you have experienced a lot of trauma, and what she says that she did in a couple scenes. And it's like dirty and falling apart. Like, okay, we get it. Oh man. But okay. This was
You're like, how do I talk about this? There's a lot going on. There's a lot that happens.
I'm not even going to get to the stuff that happens. I'm just upset logistically because Rose is a smart gal and she made a lot of stupid mistakes. Here they are. So they set up that we own this house early in the movie. Like the sisters own it, Rose and Holly is like, we should sell it. It's just like,
yeah,
it's it's nothing. It's nowhere.
decrepit.
It's a lot of like bad memories. Sell it. And Rose is like, no, that was our mom's house. So people know that she owns that house.
Yeah.
So like you're trying to go off the grid and you're at a house that you own. And then she knows that her ex-boyfriend, D'Artagnan, is a cop and can fucking track her phone, which she brings with her to the house and doesn't even turn it off.
He can also look at the property that she owns. So
exactly. Like you're going to get found.
Yeah.
I guess it's metaphorically resonant.
Yeah, I would have assumed that she would go, but no.
I don't know, like an Airbnb?
I was like, I would not want to go to a decrepit home. I was like, maybe go camping. And I was like, ooh, but being alone in the forest or in the woods with a...
Pretty spooky.
Yeah, I don't know.
This wasn't much better than camping. Like, she's using that kerosene lamp.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I mean, at least you have a structure or a shelter. Do you watch enough Survivor Man to feel how important a shelter is? Or the series Alone?
You know, I haven't watched either of these, but I am familiar with the elements, you know, from all the like crime dramas that I watch.
Gotcha. Anyway, so Smile. So we're in this decrepit old house and it is all crumbly. And she, of course, has this moment where her mom is there. And her mom is like the same age as her because that's the age that she passed.
Yeah.
And she's basically having this conversation, which is a little cathartic, I think. But you also find out that, like, her mom is like, I think you said it earlier. Her mom is like, go call someone. And she says no. She's like, I'm not going to do that.
And like, okay. That's like, I don't know. She's 10.
Yeah.
She's so little. And like, this isn't the first time that something like this has happened. She doesn't know her mom is about to die. She knows that her mom is
that
scary.
Thing that she's done before, yeah.
Like, that's a scary situation. 10-year-olds, you can't expect a 10-year-old to save your life.
And you feel like at that point, she's having some kind of cathartic experience. And then I think that slowly her mom turns into the monster and then she lights that shit on fire. She lights it on fire. She fights back and she lights it on fire.
Yeah, the monster is like, who is her giant mom? I guess this is a theme in horror movies now where the monster is just a large lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know. How tall would you say she is? She's like the 12-foot tall Home Depot skeleton.
Yes, that is accurate.
Yeah,
that is definitely accurate.
And she's like, it's very unsettling the way she comes down the hall with her like arms against the side of the wall. That was pretty good. That was pretty spooky.
Why do you have to touch the wall? Is it for stabilization because you're so tall and then you would teeter over if not for the wall supporting your weight? So lately I've been playing this video game. Came out a while ago. Human Fall Flat. But it's about...
No, say no more. Because here's what I'm imagining. Do you remember that like Flash game?
That's what it is. QWERTY?
That's what it is.
It's QWERTY. It is fucking QWERTY. And you're just like...
flailing your arms around.
And that's like... I have to like constantly grab stuff to not be a dumb bitch. Like I have to keep doing that. And I was like, maybe it's the same. Maybe she's just trying to support her flimsy ass body.
Yeah.
Because she's like... The amount of times I just grab onto the floor and I move my butt out is absurd. And I'm like, but I'm trying to pick up this thing on the ground.
She's human fall downing.
Yeah, she's just human fall downing. She's trying to get used to the giant ass body. Maybe we're judging too harshly.
Yeah, she just did
it's just like Benedict Cumberbatch.
Spurt.
He's just learning how to crawl. He's just learning how to walk.
I think that was off mic.
That's fine. People can question what we meant.
For like a little bit of context. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Don't give them that.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. You can get them.
Walks like a baby. But you're right. It's another monster who has to learn to walk. It's a modern Prometheus who has to learn to walk.
Just learning.
Yeah, just crawls down the hallway and attacks Rose.
How different was it, though, from Frankenstein? How different?
This?
Just this scene. Just the scene versus Benedict.
Yeah. This gal had more control of her limbs.
Good for her. Okay.
And the noises she was making were meant to be spooky scary. Whereas that was not true. Of good old Bandicoot Cumberbund.
Good. Now I'm picturing him as the giant lady monster.
I mean, the costumes were essentially the same.
Perfect.
Yeah. So she like spooky, scary human fall downs her way down the hallway and like attacks Rose in the main living room and is like, "You're trapped in here with me." And Rose is like, "No, it's all in my head. You're trapped in here with me." And so Rose like hits her in the head with the kerosene lamp, lights the house on fire, escapes.
And you guys know how we said we did not like the ending of this movie. Fun fact, this isn't the fucking ending of the movie.
It's fake out. We've got a fake out on our hands. So she like drives back to town and she's like,
Sup, ex-boyfriend?
Yeah, I was going to describe the drive back, but I couldn't think of like the joke I was trying to do, which is like, I'm walking on sunshine. She's driving back into town.
What is it? The unwritten one? The rest is still unwritten.
Oh, yeah.
Open up the blank page before you.
Both are right.
So good.
Yeah, so she's like driving back into town. She's like, I'm a changed woman. I've confronted my trauma. I no longer harbor all this guilt in my heart.
I don't have to hang out with my silly fiance who was a piece of...
who does not support me and is in fact a narc. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she goes to D'Artagnan's house and she's like, I'm so sorry. When we were dating, I cut you out. I had built up all these walls because I was afraid of what people would see if they got too close. And when I was with you, I could feel them crumbling down. And so I broke up with you and it wasn't fair to either of us. And so now I just need to ask you a favor. Can I stay here and sleep? And can you just stay with me while I sleep? And he looks down and is like, of course I'll stay with you. I'll stay with you forever. And then he smiles.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
And I was like, no. I was so upset. I was like, fuck no. That was like a moment that I just like...
I know.
There was a part in the movie that I think I like made a noise, which I try to be very quiet during movies because... Oh yeah, gotta respect everyone.
Sneaky silent. Yeah,
I think that was a part where I just like let out a no. I was like, no.
Yeah,
I was so upset. I was like, she finally no. Yeah. So she never left the house. Fun fact, guys.
She never left the house.
She never left the house.
She darts out of his apartment. She D'Artagnan's out of his apartment and turns around after she closes the door and sees that it's like still the house, and she's in front of the decrepit house. And right then, D'Artagnan, the police officer,
the
real one, he pulls up outside of the house and she like freaks out. She's like, this is the part that really frustrated me. Like, you're so close. Maybe you can. I don't know if you can get away at this point, but like, you just had this epiphany and now he's here for real, but she can't trust that, which is like another hard part of having all of this trauma and building up walls like this. Like, you can't trust when things are good.
Oh, I thought it was the opposite. I thought she knew it was him and was afraid for him.
Oh, that's nicer.
I thought she was trying to keep him away from what was about to happen because she knew it was about to happen.
That's nicer. Let's go with that instead of my thing.
It's still sad either.
My thing was projection, and I should cut it out of the podcast so that nobody can see behind my walls.
No. Didn't we learn a lesson? You have to break down those walls.
I don't know.
That wall's got to be breaking down.
But she dies.
She doesn't, because she never actually went to see him to tell him the truth. So that wall was never broken down.
She's about to die.
Because she didn't break down the walls. She left him up. She left him up.
Okay.
She left him up.
Okay. So you're saying that I have to break down the walls.
I don't know what I'm saying.
Over and over again?
The walls continue to be built up throughout life, and you have to continue to have that maintenance of either not letting them build up, or when you get a block, you just got to kind of knock it over. It's not that easy. I don't want to say knock it over. It's just you got to put your weight into it and just constantly shift it until you... Okay, so in human fall flat, if you have a wall...
Wait, no. Human fall flat walls are stabilizing.
They sometimes, okay, so it's all about...
So you're telling me there are different walls?
Is it physics? You use a lot of physics. So you have to put a lot of pressure onto a wall. You use a lot of leverage. It's a lot of...
Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing a lot of pressure against the walls.
I have to put like a stick, and I have to leverage it. You know how that goes. So... Like,
fulcrum? Are you describing a fulcrum?
That is exactly what I'm describing. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But sometimes you have these really heavy walls, and in order to get over them, you have to shove off that first block. So you got to just put your hands on it and hope one doesn't grab the ground, and you're not just doing this for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
And you got to just push. It's going to take 15 minutes, but you got to have that patience.
You
got to keep hitting trouble. A and jumping and pushing it over. You got to QWERTY over. You got to QWERTY over.
No, she just didn't hit A hard enough in this scene.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's exactly what happened.
Okay, got it. She runs back in the house for a reason. She definitely has a reason.
Yeah,
it's hard to know.
We don't know.
It's hard to know what people's motivations are.
We had different interpretations, which I don't know what the correct one would be.
I don't know.
Because it would make sense to be afraid of him after what just happened. I would just not trust anyone. Oh, trauma. Yep, not trusting anyone. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Checks out. For sure.
Yeah. But also wanting to save him, because she did just have that epiphany, and she's like, oh, I think that I love him, and I think that he was very important. We got to get him out of here.
Oh, no.
I don't know.
Anyway, it's all bad. You know what? The rest of it's bad. It doesn't matter.
Two things can be true.
Yeah, that's true. All things can be true. No things
Many
can be true.
Many things can be true.
What if
Not
we're both
all
wrong?
Things. Like, that's a possibility. It's also true that no things can be true.
Yeah.
Okay. God, we're just procrastinating so we don't have to talk about the last part. Okay, here's my proposal. Let's blaze through the plot, and then let's focus in on the monster, because I think that the monster will cheer us up.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Your voice is really high.
No. I wanted to go very fast. I'm just trying to think of the monster, and I am picturing something in my head, and I feel like I don't know if what I'm picturing is right. So we're going to go, because I didn't watch it twice, but I did remember pretty well. I could lie to you guys and tell you I stare at the screen and I watch all of it. There are times when I do look away out of fear. Whenever we talk about the Hellraiser episode, I might mention that a lot.
Oh gosh, I haven't watched it yet. Okay.
But that might be one where I would look at it and then look away and then look at it and then look away.
Oh, okay. This is going to be fun. Then maybe it won't cheer us up. It's going to cheer me up.
I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about it, but I'm trying to fully form it in my head. But also that might be what adds to my perception of it, because I only saw pieces of the monster. So whatever I didn't see, I filled in with my own fears.
Oh, okay. We're going to get there. You just imagined one big Excel document being reflected in a mirror. Being held up by Carrie Elwes.
Oh, God.
Okay, we're still doing it. Okay, here's what happens. She goes back in the house, tries to confront the monster. Monster approaches her, and we look at it. They show us the monster, and that's a lot. And then it goes into her body through her mouth. And then D'Artagnan comes in, and he can't find Rose straight away. He's looking around, can't find Rose. We find her in the kitchen, in the dark, facing away from him, back to D'Artagnan, back to the front door. And she's just holding the kerosene container above her head. And you know what you're going to see? She slowly turns around, smiling, and she pulls out a match, lights the match, and then the camera turns around and we get like a tight shot on D'Artagnan's face. And we just see him react to her lighting herself on fire. And then we zoom in on his eyes and we see a reflection of what's happening. Oh, so it was a mirror.
Oh.
Yeah, so we see her, a light in his eyes, but I don't know where I was going with that,
Yeah.
but
it's really sad, and I have nothing else to say. And that's in the movie. And is there a sequel? I hope there's a sequel where D'Artagnan makes it out alive. I don't know, without murdering someone. I don't know. This was a hard one.
Yeah.
This was very hard at the end. The ending made me so sad.
Yeah, it was a huge bummer.
Yeah,
I left the theater and sat in my car for a minute.
Yeah,
like,
no, and when Ryan and I left, I was like, I have to take a minute. I can't talk about it right away. I was like, I don't feel good right now, but I'm trying to assess, because your feeling after a movie, whether it's good or bad, does not define whether or not the movie was good or bad.
Right.
Unless you feel super neutral, then it's probably bad.
Yeah, no feelings, probably not a great movie, but intense feelings.
Yes, and I definitely
need some teasing apart.
Felt some super intense feelings after this, and I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
It sucks. Yeah, it was not, and I know we've just completely talked about this the entire podcast, but yeah, the ending just wrecked me. That wrecked me because, and that's. We talked about this during Barbarian, is all of the movies I've seen recently have completely subverted my expectations. And Smile was one of them. Mm-hmm. It did not go the direction I thought it would go because the obvious ending was that she did conquer it and everything was fine.
Yeah. Or that somehow, I don't know, even when he got there, I was like,
I wonder if there was
maybe we're going to Captain Planet it. Like maybe we'll put our fists together and like... I don't know.
So this movie, this movie was put in front of test audiences, and it was supposed to go straight to streaming. But it did so well in front of the test audiences that they had a theatrical release.
Cool.
So I wonder...
Wow. Cool.
With this ending, too, I wonder if there was ever an alternate ending where it did end up being positive, and then they took the two ratings. Because if it had a positive ending, would it be as memorable, and would I want to come back to it? I don't know.
I think that that's a really valuable question, and we were almost talking about it a little while ago, and I had not considered that before coming into this. Like, I had just thought about what actually happened in the movie and not like what that would have looked like if it had been positive. And I almost think that like I need to sit with it. I still don't know. We've talked about the movie for an hour and I still don't know like what I feel.
There's a lot to unpack with it.
I almost think that if it had been a happy ending, I'd have been like, well, that's not how trauma works. Like,
yeah. And I think that's completely valid. And
there's even, you know what, now that we're talking about it, there's even like Chekhov's therapist in this movie. Like early when she first goes to see her therapist, her therapist says something like, I think that you have a lot of trauma that you haven't like dealt with yet. And maybe you're always going to feel a little bit of this. And like, I don't know, that's something that like my therapist and my psychiatrist have said, like we're working to manage symptoms, not get rid of them. So like, if you entirely conquer it and you're trying to make a movie about trauma, that's maybe not like accurate.
Yeah, that's true. But it's
also not this dire. It's also not this dire. Like you can manage it. You don't have to light yourself on fire.
It doesn't have to conquer. Yeah. And I feel like, and I think that that's the frustrating thing about this movie is that at the end of it, you do feel like Rose is strong enough to conquer it. And like, she is like, I'm going to take this head on. I am going to do this. And to have that defeat happen is just so disheartening.
But I wonder,
how fully devoted she was to it, how much of it was on the surface.
Well, and how much of it is like convincing yourself you're doing the right thing. Hold on. I can't tell if this is legitimate or if I am obfuscating for a college essay. I might be college essaying it.
I'm here for this.
Hear me out. So when she talks to D'Artagnan, I wish I knew his real name.
Kyle Gallner is the actor. I don't know.
No. You know what? I'm calling him D'Artagnan. His name is probably like Joey.
You were close. It's Joel.
I mean,
you were off by a letter.
I just mean that, like, that's his character, right? His character is a Joey. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, I'm copping here. Whatever.
What cops do you know? Law and Order SVU?
Blue Bloods.
That's the one no, is it the Canadian one? Man, I don't know anything.
Is that Canadian? I thought that was in Chicago. I don't know what that is.
That one has Nathan Fillion.
Okay, I don't know any. No, I know one cop. Steve Gonsalves of Ghost Hunters. He's an ex-cop.
He's a cop? Oh.
Used to be. I know. He quit to hunt ghosts.
Good. So. He's doing the right thing.
Yep. Hashtag ACAB.
Yeah.
Except Joey? I don't know.
Joel,
I'm going to keep calling him D'Artagnan.
Joey. Okay.
When she goes to D'Artagnan's house, there at the end, when it's not really D'Artagnan's house, it's actually Smiley's
house.
Guess that's what, yeah, it's Smiley's house.
We have a really terrible. Never mind. We get kind of political. Where I live, there is a senator running for office, and her last name is Smiley, and she is not great.
Has she tried to leverage Smile marketing, though? Because the marketing for this movie was really good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. For listeners who maybe don't know, I don't know the nature of the sport that was occurring. I know it was baseball. Was it the playoffs? Was it the World Series? Big baseball games. Big baseball.
The biggest of the baseball. And Good Morning America as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
America.
in these like big televised, many people experiences, that's not the events. There we go. They had hired actors to like stand in front of the camera, basically, like in the crowd, like at the baseball. They just had a seat
behind home plate.
So, and they just like stood and like smiled, barrel down right down the barrel of the camera. And that's really good. Mm-hmm. That's some creative marketing.
They had a t-shirt on that said smile that was like brightly colored as well.
Oh, I don't like it as much knowing that. I didn't pay attention to that, I guess. I just saw them smiling and was like, this is like old school viral marketing.
I mean, they probably could have just done a regular brightly colored shirt. They had like a highlighter yellow and it said smile. They probably could have just had highlighter yellow. But they needed something to stand out because sometimes you don't notice people behind home plate.
I don't know, man. I think that the smile and the dead eyes
just a normal Tuesday. I don't know. Have you seen people today? That's how I am.
Yeah, none of them are standing. Everybody in America is sitting.
That's valid. You're making a very good point. Very good point. What was the other one? Oh, yeah. Good Morning America. They were standing behind Al Roker.
I love that. Great marketing. Mm-hmm. I forgot what point we were making.
Probably wasn't important.
About the marketing. Wait, Smiley. Political.
Yeah, Smiley.
Ha! I was college essaying.
Yeah,
so
sorry, go back.
She goes to D'Artagnan's house and she's like, the mistake I made was building up all these walls and isolating myself. And in order to try to defeat the monster, she isolated herself. Mm-hmm. Like, is that the lesson that we needed to take?
I think it might be that what you and okay. So I'm speaking from my perspective. Mm-hmm. My trauma has made me want to isolate every time I feel upset or attacked or anything. Like, I just want to be alone. I don't want somebody to comfort me. I just want to take care of myself. I just want to be on my own.
And this is like why I clocked Rose making herself small and like apologizing when she tried to stand up for herself. I was like, me too, girl.
And that's also like, that is a trauma response to be like, I can take care of myself. Nobody has to take care of me. And that is what ended up leading. Because maybe if she did end up going to D'Artagnan's house and saying that to him, maybe that would have been what sufficed in saving her. Because she did break down that wall. You know, human fall flat and pushed it over.
Yeah. Or maybe it goes back further. Like maybe asking him for help here in your like ring countdown period doesn't work because it's too late.
Point.
But maybe if she had like let him in back when they were dating and she had like worked on that, it could have worked. Yeah. No, we're victim blaming now.
No, and I was going to say, and this is the difficult. So this is the difficult part. Exactly to your point, because I was about to. So that's the hard part, because that's what makes this movie also ultra scary. I know we're saying we're victim blaming here, but the thing is, like, you do
have to work on yourself.
Yeah, but she also spent her whole life trying to help people. Like, she spent her whole life trying to fix other people and help other people because she felt like she failed somewhat, where instead of focusing on how to untangle herself. So like,
yeah, I think that it was that, like, she failed somebody who was dealing with mental illness, and so now she's like constantly trying to make up for that. But I think it's also deflection. Like, if I help all these people, then like net I'm still doing good, even if I'm not working on myself.
Yeah, I think that might be the thesis, is just work on yourself.
It's all complicated.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's also not bad to try to help people.
It's not always help people.
And it sounds like she was a really great doctor.
It does. And she cared a lot about her patients. And that was really important. Even the guy she stabbed to death on
in a hallucination, not in real life.
He was fine. He ended up being fine. He was fine.
Carl, I can remember his name, but I can't remember Joey. Jesus,
Joel.
Carl's in the movie.
His name is Joel.
What? Okay.
It's fine, Pittsburgh. Anyway.
His name is D'Artagnan.
It's D'Artagnan. He will forever be D'Artagnan.
He's the cop who carries like a rapier instead of a gun.
Oh my God.
His badge is a picture of Alexander Dumas. I should make a web series. I don't know.
Oh my God. I'm trying to but I can't. This movie just has a lot to unpack in it, which is shocking because I went into it expecting it to not be that way. Honestly, so one of the next movies, maybe the next movie we're talking about is Pray for the Devil. And I told... After I watched it, Kelly said she was going to go watch it. And I'm pretty sure I said, maybe you should go see Terrifier 2 instead.
Yeah. And I was
and you still watch.
Well, okay. So part of why...
You're like, I haven't seen Terrifier. There. I don't want to jump in.
No, that was exactly it. I was like, I got to watch this movie before we record. And I don't have time to watch both Terrifier and Terrifier 2. And I know Chelsea has already seen Pray for the Devil. Plus, you know I'm a sucker for like demons and possession. So, like, I had no choice.
And female exorcist.
I didn't even know that was going to happen.
We watched two movies. We watched one that relates to things going on for you and one that relates to things going on for me. And mine was a bag of shit. I'm sorry, guys. Spoiler. When you listen to the next episode, the first 10 minutes will be me repeating those lines.
Okay. And then the 10 minutes after that will be me being like, should I be a nun?
I know, right? Mine, should I bleach my hair? I'm not really sure.
You absolutely should. I just bleached my hair on Friday in order to repurple it, and I can't do blonde. Yeah,
so you guys, we're going to talk about Pray for the Devil next week.
Pray for the Devil. But before we get into next week, I still want to talk about the monster.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, you tell me what you remember of the monster.
So in my head, I'm picturing, that creepypasta of the guy that smiles. What is his name? It's a boy's name. He's smiling really big and he has the eyes and it's pale with the big teeth. I'm making a face and Kelly's not getting it.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Okay, if I Google creepypasta and I look at, Colin, creepypasta.
It's like I almost remember, but I think I'm thinking of Johnny.
It's like Steven. It's like a name. It's a name. You might be right. It's a name.
I'm thinking of a graphic novel, not a
okay, Jeff the Killer.
Jeff the Killer.
Yes, I'm going to need you to Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about.
I am Googling it. I recognize the name because, not to plug our other podcast again, but when we did the first creepypasta, Ted the Caver over on Debut Buddies, which, by the way, listeners, that's out. Go listen to it and read Ted the Caver. But Jeff the Killer came up in
one of the biggest creepypastas.
Whoa, that's scary.
Yes. So it was like that, but also tremors. Lots of teeth. I just remember lots of teeth.
So many teeth.
Or like it. I don't know. I know that teeth are a scary thing. Multiple teeth don't scare me as much, but it feels like a lot of people are latching on to lots of teeth.
Well, this was not just a lot of teeth, but a lot of mouths.
Is it like, are people afraid of like lampreys?
I don't know what that is.
Those are the things with the, you're going to have to Google that too. I'm going to have to Google it too to make sure Lamprey.
EY. Oh, is this a fish?
Yeah, it's an eel. So yes, people do feel uncomfortable about lampreys is what I've just surmised. So that's how I think it is. Jeff the Killer plus a lamprey.
Plus, like, aliens, where the tiny alien comes out of big alien's mouth. Like xenomorph,
like Beetlejuice.
Is there like a tiny worm outside of the big worm?
Comes out of the worm.
Yeah.
Very similar. Very similar. Lots of layers. It's big on the layers.
Big on the layers. And I think
I didn't hate the monster. It did show it for a decent amount of time in the light. It didn't do direct lighting. I think it was like firelight, which I appreciate as well. I don't like direct lighting, but it did show close-ups of the monster. Could it have been scarier if I saw it less? Maybe.
I thought it looked really good. And
I think they did well. So I'm not going to hate on that.
I want to know, I should have Googled this. Like, I can't tell if it was CGI. It was really good CGI.
Oh, that's a good point. I would
bet that it was a mix of practical and CGI. But I don't know that for sure. But I thought it looked really good.
I'm Googling it. I don't know why I'm Googling it. Okay, there's an entire article from Polygon. Behind Smile's overwhelmingly mind-bending, mind-breaking monster. Hold on. Eerie metaphor.
No, not the metaphor. Show me the monster.
Studio ADI.
Never show the monster.
I'm not a great artist. I'm very rudimentary, he said, but I handed off the drawing to a concept artist who was able to do something really special with it, and then we took a piece of art and eventually gave it to Studio ADI. The end result is this amazing practical effect. So it's practical.
Hell yes. That's why it looked good.
I love myself a practical effect.
That's why it looked so good. It looked really good.
We're team practical effects here at Never Show the Monster.
We love them. Mm-hmm. We love them. Honestly, that's more where my Never Show the Monster comes from. Oh my
God. I want to get into Pray for the Devil because I have so many opinions based on not practical effects.
Should we just carry on?
No. Oh, God.
Okay, so this monster looked really good. I'm so happy to learn that it was practical.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, fuck, have we like gotten really good at CGI?
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, oh, was it CGI? It didn't feel like it. It definitely felt very visceral, very real.
That's why it like was so striking to me, because I was like, huh. Her mouth opening wide was obviously CGI, but like the monster wasn't. You know what it did remind me of was Ouija, Origin of Evil.
Oh.
Have you seen that?
I did. Do I remember it? No.
I really like that one.
I liked it, but I remember liking it better than the other Ouija.
Yeah, the first Ouija bad.
Did we watch Ouija together? Did we watch it in a theater together?
Not the original.
No,
but
the
maybe
Origin of Evil.
Yeah, we might have.
I think we might have. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that one. But there's a scene in it, a little girl gets possessed, and and the monster in that scene is like It's like okay, so I'm stuttering because I'm trying to avoid saying the phrase gimp suit, but there's nothing to be done. It looks like a guy in a gimp suit, and he reaches his arm into her mouth and then like zooms in there to possess her. You only see the gimp suit for a second, and then he like disappears, and we just get like a close shot of her mouth like expanding and expanding and expanding to allow this entity to, oh gosh, sorry, spoilers for Ouija Origin of Evil.
Yeah.
It's been out. I don't know. It reminded me of that scene, like stretched out mouth, monster possessing you through open throat. But Smile for sure did it better.
Yeah, Smile did a good job. I enjoyed this movie for what it was, and I think the fact that you do have to sit with it and think about it. I mean, in the end, we could end up assessing that it's not. No, the fact that I have to think about it so much, and I have thought about it so much, I equate it to being a good movie. Even if it ends up being bad, it made me think about things in a different way than I had normally thought about them.
Agreed. Like, this movie did make me think, had good scares, was interesting, and like, I don't know, like Dark and the Wicked made us think.
Oh, God.
But not fun.
Yeah, that was.
Whereas I think Smile is still fun.
Yeah, I still enjoyed Smile. I mean, the Dark and the Wicked, we recorded for like 3-4 hours, and it was mostly.
4, yeah.
I think there's a good 40 minutes of me crying. I don't know.
So I think that actually means that our session was longer because we definitely like paused to talk about things off mic.
It was rough.
And then we still had 4 hours of content. Yeah.
Anyway,
that was a hard one.
So we're not going to rewatch Dark and the Wicked. But Smile, even though
I might, but not for the pod.
Yeah. But Smile tackled some really difficult concepts. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But it did. I think it did them well without like. I think it made them. I don't know. I weirdly appreciated it for how. I don't know how I could relate to it and understand it, and how it kind of made a visual or a physical representation of something that I have felt before.
Yeah. I mean, for that reason, like I mentioned the Babadook earlier, but I would categorize like on the Babadook versus Dark and the Wicked spectrum, this is closer to Babadook.
No, yeah, for sure.
Like fun, like yes, there's a metaphor, but it's like still a scary movie. I think the difference is that like Babadook and Smile give you the option to engage as much as you want or don't want. You know, like we could just watch this and be like, oh, this is fundamentally a possession movie. Like we could focus on like Rick Smiley, which I assume is the demon's name. We could.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you don't like it?
Yeah. Okay.
Should we just call it Smile? Mr. Teeth. Mrs. Teeth?
Captain Teeth?
Captain Teeth. We could focus on Captain Teeth, like hunting and like stalking its prey.
Oh, that's true.
And like feeding on its prey. Like we could focus on the like supernatural possession part, and we chose to focus on the like trauma part. But oh my God, I'm college essaying again. Is this like I would love to hear like what the feedback is about this movie and like see what people are drawn to. And if the people who are having conversations like we are have trauma in their lives, and if the people who don't focus on that don't, you know?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay. I feel comfortable now saying this is a good movie.
Good. But you might retract
Do I know
it later.
how I feel about the thesis? No.
Yeah.
But I think that it puts the viewer in an interesting space.
Agreed.
And that's valuable to me. That's what I want in a movie.
Yeah. I like movies that make me, I guess, see things. I don't know if it understand things or see things in a different light. And I think this movie helped with that. Barbarian also did. but it's like stuff that you know and understand, but it's kind of clarifying it for you, which is nice. Which Dark and the Wicked made stuff more muddy for me, and I feel like that's kind of a
that one was a huge bummer. There wasn't any fun in that one. There wasn't any fun in that one.
But this one, there isn't a ton of fun either. No,
I think
except for D'Artagnan, I guess. Just his facial
scares, hair. There's D'Artagnan.
It's well done. It's well shot. It is the opposite of everything in the next movie in our series that we're going to be talking about.
Are we ready to transition out? Does that do maybe. Us? Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. And we would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on Smile. Please write in. You can find us on Twitter at No Show Monster until, Twitter sinks into the ocean. Yeah. And when that fails, you can email us at noshowmonster@gmail.com, or, that's better suited for long form thoughts anyway. So, reach out. Tell us your thoughts on Smile. We would love to have a conversation there. We recently, just this week, were on an episode of the podcast Church Jams Now, talking about Evanescence's first album called Fallen. And that was a lot of fun. Very stupid. Great album. Go check I guess spoiler for Church Jams Now. Go check out that episode. And as always, we are on Debut Buddies. Our most recent episode was on the first strip of Garfield.
And our next episode is on
Pray for the Devil.
Oh, I was thinking about Debut Buddies.
Oh.
Yeah, next episode of us is Pray for the Devil. Yeah, just focus on us.
Pray for the Devil. This is going to be another Shootin the Shit episode. It is another new movie. That's sort of the theme we're doing. New movies, Shootin the Shit. Pray for the Devil in theaters now. I don't know if it was good. No, I do know that it wasn't good, but it was fun.
It was there.
And if they make a sequel, I will watch it. So
yeah, that's true. I would.
Yeah. I know. Sorry.
I would. God
so join us next week to talk about Pray for the Devil, and make sure to
like and subscribe.
I don't know the words.
YouTube. Please rate us 5 stars and give us a sweet review.
Yeah, you can leave in the review just a smiley face if you wanted.
Or a spooky emoji or something. The ghost one? Or say
like a little ghost.
Tell us happy spookies.
So spooky.
Yeah.
Happy spookies would be great.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, happy spookies.
Happy spookies.